Hello and welcome to the Rainbow Nocturnal podcast. This is the Rainbow Nocturnal Pajama Party.
Yeah, I'm Kitti.
And I'm Akhora.
And we're here to open up a safe space for a community for neurodivergent people, LGBTQ, even allies.
Welcome to the Rainbow Roost.
Yeah.
We're here to do our pajama party, and we invited you, and you're here with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for checking out the Rainbow Nocturnal Pajama Party.
Yeah.
Well, tonight we're gonna chit-chat a little bit, just hanging out, chilling. Got some good vibes and some good conversation. You know, being that we're an LGBTQ community here, we just wanted to open up the space to talk about some fun things. Tonight we're gonna cover some topics. We had a poll recently, and I put it on 2 different platforms, and I asked some topics we should cover. We had a 3-way tie for gender identity, LGBTQ plus news, and personal stories and interests. We're gonna go over some things tonight, hang out a little bit, just kind of check in, see how everyone's doing. I hope you're doing good tonight.
I had a fantastic afternoon. What about you?
Played around with a lot of things in the settings and just trying to figure out how to make things just a little bit better here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I had some good ideas, but I think a lot of this is going to be trial and error, and I'm excited.
Same.
Oh my goodness. So we wanted to say, welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Rainbow Nocturnal Pajama Party.
Yeah.
I know.
Come on in.
I know, I said it again, but guess what? Umbreon has a lot to say too. So we're wearing our PJs tonight. I went with Eeyore.
And I went with the DC girls.
Yeah, I got trans colors. Yay!
And I've got pan and bi colors in one.
Pan bi.
Yeah.
Because there will be no bi erasure in this house.
Hell yeah.
If you're pan, you're pan. If you're bi, you're bi. And if you have some mixture of both or one of the other was it M-Spec? M-Spec. If you're one of the other M-Spec umbrella, tell us about it. Let us know how you're doing. Any new interests, any new fun things you got going on. Thank you for being a part of the community. I guess we can kind of roll into the next couple of sections here. I mean, I know, there's been a lot of things. We've been talking about our own personal stories, kind of back and forth. So I think that'd be a fun place to kind of start a little bit. With gender identity, it's not something that is necessarily obvious at all times. Gender identity is got its own psychological, neurological aspects to it. Gender identity can be expressed in all sorts of ways, including gender non-conforming ways.
Like me.
Like her. Yes. This is Kitti. She uses she, her pronouns, despite
having facial hair. I have hirsutism that affects any human being. Cisgendered women, signed females at birth, or intersex humans that are born with a uterus. It affects all of us. For a lot of us, it sucks. Because, especially in today's political climate, even cisgender women with facial hair are going to be attacked, are going to be transvestigated.
Yeah, I mean, this transvestigating shit that's been going on is really awkward because it's like the we can always tell crowd constantly getting it wrong. What the fuck?
Right.
I really think sometimes challenging these typical expectations of gender expressions can really go a long way here. I mean, like, we have examples, just within ourselves of issues with that. Because I am a trans woman. I identify with the female sex. Yes, that's kind of how it would go. But gender identity is the internal sense, the interpersonal, subjective sense of your sex. Mm-hmm. Whether it's male, female, something else in between, or neither. That subjective feeling, the internal thing, needs to be compared to something. So there's these things called schemas. Schemas are a aspect of psychology, but it's the subconscious categorization that we passively do over time. What is a woman to you in your schema might not necessarily be what everyone's is. And because of these dynamic schema is why we see so much diversity in gender expression.
Mm-hmm.
And also, gender expression is very cultural and societal. It varies culture to culture. Like things that you see in gender expressions here might not be the same somewhere else.
Exactly.
And I think challenging those things that we call typical is really key to a lot of empathy, I think, because it's okay to have your understanding of what a man or a woman is, but that doesn't mean that is the understanding of what a man or a woman is. And then we have to consider our non binary pals. We already try and force everything into these two categories, and it hurts a lot of people, and it enforces a lot of stereotypes. And we would like to challenge those stereotypes.
Yes, absolutely. I am walking advanced biology, and with the right setting, like short hair, long hair pulled into a bun with my facial hair, I do look like a guy. And it does suck, but oh well.
Well, it sucks when you get misgendered because of it.
Yeah.
Cause I think that's what makes it the worst. Cause
Especially in the worst intentions.
yeah, cause I feel like it's really not hard to accept you. I love you, and I accept you.
And I love you. And upon the previous like just what we were talking about, your friend, that your coworker that you have that band with,
Yeah.
his father had already gone through an experience of accepting his like a trans family member. And when I went outside to smoke a cigarette, he asked me how long I knew. And it took me aback a minute, but then I sat on that for a second and I was like, and I redirected, I was like, oh, I have hirsutism,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And even when I went to the restroom after the a little bit later, I looked in the mirror and I was like, thank you, Dad, for giving me some of your facial features. That especially came in as soon as I hit the fucking double digits.
Right? I know what the fuck. The bodies are weird sometimes the way that they just decide to take things into their own hands. Decided that.
Right.
What the heck? Anyways, the funny thing though with the gender identity is, your expression can be whatever you want it to be.
No, exactly.
But how long have you known that you were a girl?
My entire life.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like how you look doesn't dictate how you know what you are.
Right.
And I think that's a struggle for a lot of us, especially some of us other gender nonconforming individuals in the world. My transgender experience was skewed mostly because I didn't have the words and the vocabulary to talk about a lot of this stuff. I didn't know what gender really was. I knew the concepts of like boy, girl, man, woman, but that's like all I knew. There was no concept of gender identity. So anytime I felt like boy didn't feel right, I didn't have the words to express that. I didn't know what to say. I just thought that everyone else thought I was a boy, so that must be what I am. But what does that mean? I tried to learn what that meant from other people. I tried to follow in other people's footsteps, but for so long it was for the sake of other people. I didn't allow myself to be myself.
A lot of us didn't allow ourselves to be ourselves. We had to hide parts of us.
Yeah. And, I had that event when I was young that essentially forced me into the closet. But, that's because what I was faced with in the battery of questions from my grandparents at the time, I didn't really have a clear expectation or understanding of what they were even trying to ask me because what I was experiencing and what they were asking weren't related. I had, some issues with, issues, I guess. I was experiencing what at the time we were calling cross dressing. But I was young, and at some point there were a battery of questions that were thrown at me because of this. Those questions left me scared and confused because I didn't understand what it meant to be gay. I didn't understand what it meant to, I don't know, talk to about sexuality or anything, because that's the type of questions I was being presented, was things centered around sexuality. They needed to be asking me questions about gender identity. And that was really the big thing. Like, if I had just had some concept of what it was trying to get at, I think maybe things could have been easier for me. I feel like the information was kind of out there around that time, because there are definitely people who have been out for a very long time, longer than I've been alive, but I wasn't exposed to those people. I didn't know that those concepts existed. I didn't know that the first time we had evidence that gender identity was innate was in the 70s. The 70s, 1970. I was born in the 90s. Do we have a cat underneath the butts?
Yes.
We have an interruption on the program. There is a cat playing with somebody's booty. We have a booty cat. A bootyful cat. He's being silly.
As per usual.
But no, these things for gender identity, though, that they really affect a lot of us. And so often I hear people ignoring that because they don't feel different, that other people can't feel different. That's a cis woman over there, not you. But people online will be like, oh, I am a female and I feel like a woman, or something like that. Or they'll completely ignore even relating to their feelings. No, I don't feel like a woman. I just am a woman, as if there's like some objective standard for what that means. But there really isn't when you really, really, really get down and break it all down. Because it's not an expression. It's not in features. Like, you don't become less of a woman because you have facial hair.
Right.
That's not what makes someone a woman. Facial hair is ubiquitously, across the board, associated with men. But it's not males only.
And the first woman that was documented with facial hair, she had the one that affects both genders. And that was either Annie or Agatha Jones from the Freak Show. And speaking of facial hair, my facial hair started out as just on my cheeks, no chin. A friend of mine, she slept over at one point when I was in middle school or high school, and she took my scissors and we started cutting because they were actually pretty long when they started out too. She started cutting them, and then we went to the bathroom. She grabbed a razor and handed it to me, and I started shaving. Afterwards, that my mom finally tells me she didn't want me to start shaving my face. For the longest time, she actually hid that from me too, that she had facial hair.
Yeah.
And it hurts. Because families don't talk about things. And it's really not okay when families don't talk about things that are eventually going to affect somebody. I had to hide my facial hair from you in our first relationship.
I know. And I think there's just, because it's a lot of shame, I think generational trauma too. Because, like, if your mom had issues, there's probably a good chance there was issues further back in your bloodline. Like that's crazy to even try and think about, because I wonder if things would have been different for you if there wasn't this big taboo and cultural stigma against women with facial hair.
Right.
I wonder if other people out there who have gender dysphoria, if maybe there would be less of that based on society's standards and dictations. Like, what if it was just okay that women had facial hair? Like, what if it was just like a thing that was cool, or not frowned upon, or not bickered at, not made fun of? Like, I feel like people make fun of anything they can with people that they've decided they don't like. But I feel like things could have been easier for a lot more people if things would have changed sooner.
Yeah. And it's high time that things change and we start showing the world that everything, every corner of our lives is a spectrum, is non-binary. There is no binary way of life.
Yeah, there's very, very, very few things in the universe that are binary like that. Not very many. Like, in life especially, like, you're either dead or alive. Alright, so that's a binary. But there's not a shit ton of those. Like, almost all of them have, like, spectrum. And even, like, dying. Like, when are you actually dead? Is it brain death? Is it body death? Is it, you know?
Good point.
What about a point in the future? I know they've been trying to have your consciousness uploaded into a computer. If you're still conscious, but there's no biological aspects, no more life. Are you still alive though? Because like, what would that version of you, that digital version of you, be? If not you?
Right, that's a very good question.
Because it's like just like things like this, and it's like why we harp a lot in societies about expressions and how people dress and what that can mean to some people. We've been learning over time that the society is dictating those things more than a real moral standard for a lot of these things. Especially you hear it like, oh, it was the dress. Oh, they're dressing slutty or provocative or whatever the fuck they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it was never the clothing or attire that was the problem.
No, it was. We really have to stop the victim blaming.
Yes, we need to stop the victim blaming for fucking sure.
Because children are attacked. And most of them are just wearing normal PJs, pants and like the set, pants and top.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. I wish things were better for a lot of people.
Same. And we can turn this around, build our communities, go out and start advocating for our rights back. We need to get to a point where we can start dismantling and being able to enjoy life. Everyone, that includes everyone that has the internal bigotry that projects it onto others, racism, etc. You are our brothers and sisters. Take the time to understand and educate yourselves. Open your hearts and minds, please.
Do it for your neighbor. Do it for your family member. Probably met somebody somewhere who's some form or some flavor of gender diverse in some way. I really think there's a lot of problems with purity culture, but I think a lot of that leans into religious traumas and problems and expectations. Listen, I get a lot of people want everyone to share their religion, but we really don't have to. There's many ways to express each other, and we don't need to try and stifle each other to do that. If you just can't accept someone for being LGBTQ, can we try and find some way to not be at each other's throats over it?
Right. No more violence, please. Anywhere, everywhere. Enough.
Yeah, there's been a lot of sad events in the news, too. And I think maybe we'll touch on some of those, but we didn't really pick out too many news segments related to violence right now. There are some other concerns as well, but violence has been a problem.
Yes, it has.
So, kind of wrapping up the gender identity stuff, I'm going to take over a little bit and rant about this Wikipedia page just a little bit, and then maybe we'll have Kitti wrap up with just a little bit of her own story and history with gender identity and expression. So, I'm going to break down this Wikipedia intro a little bit and just kind of give my two thoughts, because it's not perfect. I think it does a decent job, but I think it could be improved on. I'm not really a huge Wikipedia person. I just thought it would be interesting to read through it a little bit and give my 2 cents. So Wikipedia starts this gender identity section with: gender identity is the personal sense of one's own gender. Gender identity can correspond to a person's assigned sex or can differ from it. Most individuals, the various biological determinants of sex are congruent and consistent with individuals' gender identity. Gender expression typically reflects a person's gender identity, but this is not always the case. When a person may express behaviors, attitudes, and appearances consistent with a particular gender role, such expression may not necessarily reflect their gender identity. The term gender identity was coined by psychiatry professor Robert J. Stoller in 1964. And then the next sentence I'm not going to read because we don't need to glorify or discuss douchebags. If you want to hear my rant on the person at the end of the first paragraph of the gender identity Wikipedia, maybe we'll save that for next time. I don't feel like ranting about this douchebag. His douchebaggery, though, is why about 10 years later, we learned, oh shit, they were wrong about gender identity. It's actually something that's innate. You can't just force someone to grow up as a gender that they don't have the identity for. This is why grooming doesn't fucking make sense. We've known since the fucking 70s, you cannot groom a kid to live as a gender that is not something they have the capacity for neurologically. Because we know in the 50 years since we learned that gender identity was innate, that there are neurological aspects to gender identity that is set from a really, really young age. In fact, it's prenatal in a lot of these cases. You're literally just born with the pathways to have a gender identity that is not based on your assigned sex at birth. Because the thing is, genitals don't really tell you everything anyway. People get things wrong all the time, and it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to learn later that, okay, well, in this case, it wasn't the right choice. And that's okay. Most people are going to have a gender identity that aligns with their sex, or be okay adopting a gender identity that aligns with their sex. And that's okay. Cis people are valid. But trans people are too. And we really need to try and get down to the bottom of some of this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get, logical for a moment. I wrote down a simple syllogism. Premise 1. Gender identity is an innate neurological component of an individual. Premise 2. Biologically, genitals differentiate in the first trimester. Neurological gender identity forms in the third trimester. Conclusion. It is biologically possible to have a gender identity that does not align with your observed sex characteristics. Listen, there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of room for improvement for a lot of this information. But even in the places where we're lacking on solid and well-grounded science, there is still enough evidence to say there's something here, we just need more information. It's not saying, oh, there's nothing here because there's not enough information. No, there's something here. We just need more information.
Right.
And it's really important to get involved in science and STEM if you are able to. And if you're not able to, and you want to do other things, try and fund and help advocate for good science around some of these topics, because it will benefit a lot of people. But the real issue is we need to avoid pathologizing a lot of this, because just because something is rare doesn't mean it's bad. Just because someone has a gender identity that does not align with their assigned sex characteristics at birth does not mean that there's something wrong with them that needs to be fixed. Honestly, most of the problems for the trans community comes from lack of acceptance and negative stigmatization. It's not hard to accept people. I've been there. I used to not accept people who are like me. I used to not accept myself, but it's okay to grow.
It is okay to grow. We both didn't used to accept ourselves. I did question my gender assignment when I was going through periods. Fucking hated them. The unholy trinity, of reproductive diseases. They were evil. We need to study women's bodies more for everything. Take humans seriously on every spectrum of gender identity, sexual orientation, especially when it comes to procedures that are definitely needed, whether or not someone has kids. I am so thankful I was able to get my hysterectomy when I did. I do not regret it. I couldn't have human children. I didn't want to go through the process of wasting possible loans for something that may never would have happened. So, where we're at right now, I am happy where we're at.
For us personally, I think we do a decent job of being a part of a village.
Mm-hmm.
I think not having your own kids doesn't mean we can't be there for kids.
Right.
Because we have nieces and nephews, and they're all amazing kids.
They really are. Since I've had my hysterectomy, I've been able to look at other people's children and not get depressed and be like, I wish that was me. I can't wait till that's me. It was never going to be me. I'm good with being the auntie. Yes, the bearded auntie that will teach the younger generations of this stuff. Because it does affect every single one of us. Not just specific skin colors, not just specific whatever. Everyone is susceptible to facial hair. Everyone is susceptible to looking like the opposite gender, or in the right context, both genders.
Whatever you want to do, I mean, that's the best part about expression, is you get to do it however you want. And it doesn't have to be determined by your gender identity. You can be a cisgender woman and look like a guy if you want to, or have a mix of both, or whatever you want in between. I mean, it's your life.
Right. And I'm happy with where I am right now.
Yeah.
I've also been finding one new awesome reason of having buzzed hair. Every so often I'm finding, oh, wait, that's amazing. That's amazing. Wait, maybe I should just have this short hair and just wear wigs. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to be at in a few years with my hair growing and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, and change it wherever you feel comfortable changing it. If we need to cut it again, we can cut it again. If you want to grow it out, you can grow it out. If you want to do something in between, like a mohawk.
Maybe.
I know. I was just like, I was trying to think what was in between the two. I'm like, I guess a mohawk?
Right?
A mullet? You want to try a mullet?
Maybe I don't want to also either go with like wigs because that's too much money.
Well, I mean, it depends.
True.
I don't know. What do you community think about wigs? Do you like guys like wigs? I think I've seen some people do some really cute wigs. Gosh, I had that one coworker. I don't want to name names, but they wore wigs occasionally, and I was like, that's cute. That's a cute look.
Oh, I had a coworker at my overnight job that would wear wigs because they did not like their natural hair color, like their hairstyle.
Yeah, I never asked the person from my work if it's because they don't like it or if they just like different things. I never got that deep into that conversation. I just thought one day when they showed up with this one like cute wig and their makeup all done up, I'm like, "You're so fucking cute!" And then I was like, "Damn, wish I can wear different wigs sometimes."
Right.
But then I was like, "No, I like my natural hair. I really do like my natural hair."
I loved my natural hair, minus the shade. I wish it was more red or more darker blackish.
Oh snap! Well, we could always play with the saturation if you want her to see what red looks like. Maybe we'll do it in post just to give her a glimpse. It's pretty fun what we can do with video editing these days.
In fact, I have a picture of me with red hair from a long time ago that I dyed. I can't remember what. It was one of three: ruby red, crimson red, or something else. I don't remember.
Yeah, when I was doing the setup for this, while you were still sitting down here, the saturation was turned up fairly high, and it looked like you had red hair.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. I've always wanted Ariel's red hair.
Oh shit. Well.
Oh well.
Maybe we'll play with it next time, because I think my hair looks super, super red when you turn up the saturation.
I got the crap end of my genetics.
In fact, I can make it look like I have a sunburn.
I already look like I have sunburns on my shoulders.
I mean, you go outside more than I do. I'm usually hiding.
I'm walking around, running errands.
She gotta run them errands.
Especially during the after party on Saturday night.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was a really fun show. I went on to that Neil 604 Atheist's podcast, the Deconversion Stories. They do it live. I'm not quite sure I'm ready for that. Plus, I don't have earphones. We would have to completely change our setup and maybe sit at our desks to be able to do live recordings. Maybe we could have fun live parties every once in a while and invite some people in.
Yeah.
I mean, because, like, we still need to figure out how we're going to have guests, because we do want guests. We have a couple local friends who are interested, but I also want to open it up to external friends. Occasionally, a podcast recorded at our desks is just in the cards, because then we can have guests that are remote. It might change the vibe a little bit. We might have to edit in a little differently, but it's something we'll play with. I don't really know how that would look quite yet, or how we would do it quite yet, but I really think maybe it's something we consider. Or maybe we could change our setup a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there's things we can do. There's definitely ways we can do it. We just have to put in the work for some of it. And I think as we continue to keep improving things, that'll just kind of come. I think we've already made like minor improvements. We changed the lighting settings a little bit here. I'm worried about the audio. I felt like I couldn't dial it in the same way I dialed it in for the first episode we did. And I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to run it this way and we can edit what we need to. I swear to God, if we have to re-record because I fucked something up, I'm going to be so sad. But
I don't blame you.
I think we're doing okay. I don't know what to expect. I guess we'll figure that out in post. I think things have been going well so far with the podcast, though. I think we had a really decent start. I mean, for that first episode, I don't know how accurate just the random Google searches I was doing, but I was trying to see for like a podcast, first episode, first launch, what's like the average views. And like by day 3, it was saying anywhere between like 20 and 50 or something. And we were pushing 60 at the end of day 3. I guess slightly above average. I don't know. You could let us know. Do you think that we're above average, or do you think we're just some average schmucks? No, but there was also some like really interesting descriptions, because they actually had like pre-AI summaries of things, which I thought was interesting. I'm not a huge person with AI. I don't know if that's even a worthy effort. It's probably a waste of time. I just thought it was interesting when I Googled it one day and it had some information. I was like, oh shit, it's already picked us up. Because I was just trying to see if I could find the Threads or YouTube pull up under a Google search, but the Google AI had some stuff too, and I was just like, oh. I'm pretty sure if we make popular, if I can get everyone to just do a regular Google search, doesn't have to be messing with the Google AI, but just do a regular Google search for RBNPJP space pod. RBNPJP space pod. And I want to get that linked to our YouTube as quickly as we can, because I just want to start having merch available. Just easy basic stuff. I think we were talking about starting with some like bead bracelets and things like that. And I just want the letters RBNPJP to be on there. Maybe stickers. I'm not like a huge sticker person, but I think there are a lot of people who are. So I think having some RBNPJP pod merch will be fun in sticker form.
Yeah.
And maybe later down the line we can do shirts or something. I don't know. Maybe PJs. Oh my gosh. Hey, if you are into making clothes, specifically PJs, we got some logos and some ideas and would love to start working on at least conceptualizing some merch for the future. I really think we want to keep this podcast going for as long as possible. I've been having a lot of fun just in this little 2-week period.
Same. Absolutely same.
We recorded the first episode, we spent a week editing it, and then we got it out within that week. The really cool part is I think there's a lot to do. I think there's a lot we can do. And I think getting the community involved and at least brainstorm. I'm not asking the community to do the work for us,
No.
but the community can definitely help do things that benefit Everyone, including the community.
Think of any ideas that we can't think of. Brainstorm together.
I want to start doing fun things together with the community. I think we should start doing little meetups or hangouts. We started a Patreon. I put a couple things on there. We have the free side, and then I also started a $3 paid side. That was the lowest it would let me go. I tried to do it for just $1 because I thought it would just be, okay, if you could throw in $1. $3, I guess, was the bare minimum. In that $3 side, I put in our never released episode. We had an episode that we filmed about 3 years ago when we first were wanting to start. It was technically a retake. So we had recorded one episode. The audio was so bad that you could only hear one of us. I made a mistake. It was my fault. So we recorded it with better audio, but we didn't have any video. We were deciding in the very beginning not to have video. And then things changed and we accepted ourselves a little bit more. So we decided to go video this time, and it's actually been a lot of fun. I've had to learn a lot of things for video editing. And I think the only thing we can do is keep getting better. Even if I make a mistake, let's say the first episode was actually good. Let's say the second episode kind of sucks because I fucked something up. Every mistake I'm going to take as a learning opportunity. And even if something kind of sucks, I will still get it out to you.
Absolutely.
I would like to improve quality, but high quality is not something that I really care about here. What I really care about here is building community and having people who want to be around us.
Yeah.
That's really what I want.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm enjoying that we've been showing that, like, the more harder side of setting up a fucking podcast.
Yeah, I think setup went better today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still knocked the light down, though.
Binks sat in the way when I was trying to make sure I put the blanket in between the cushions.
You know, the cats have been very quiet today. I haven't, except for playing at the very, very beginning under Wifey's booty over here.
And that was Chunker, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, he's over behind the couch.
He is so cute sleeping over there right now.
Oh my goodness.
If it wasn't for all the other junk that he pushed out of the way for this, I would totally take a snapshot and show you. Sorry.
Absolutely.
But he is probably one of the cutest sleeping cats I've ever had for some reason. And that must be triggering some personal aesthetic I had that I didn't know that he just pulled out of me, because I've always thought cats were cute. I've always thought cats sleeping were cute. Heck, the cat emoji on Threads is like my favorite goddamn emoji.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just something about this cat when he sleeps that I just gush over every freaking time.
I turn into a giddy 4-year-old.
I don't know how he's so cute. He's adorable.
I know.
Wish we can show you. Just know our hearts are here.
Yeah.
So I guess one of the big things here is getting through a lot of these stories with gender identity and stuff. There's a lot of other concerns that ignore some of these things with gender identity. I think one of the things I wanted to talk about in the LGBTQ news here, not too long ago, there was a Supreme Court ruling about, sports and trans people and states' rights, kind of. There was it was all surrounding Title IX. Specifically, the thing I want to say here is Title IX, the Equality Protection Clause itself isn't very long. Title IX, it just says, no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Now, this is very interesting because no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination on the basis of sex. And then the Supreme Court essentially said, you know what? States can discriminate against sex by making sex categories for things. I don't freaking know. The majority people, they ended up writing, consistent with Title IX in the Equal Protection Clause, we hold that the states may maintain women's and girls' sports for biological females. Also, this is a very lazy thing to say. You do realize that there's no such thing as an unbiological female. We're not talking about dead people. Biological just means to look at something alive. That's what biology is, the study of living things. It's not the study of sex, not the study of development. Those are all parts of biology. So it's really, really, really lazy and distracting to say biological anything when you're referring to females or sex or anything. Because they're saying based on biological sex, they can determine eligibility for women and girls. The problem with this is sex is not an exclusionary category. It doesn't exclude things because there's no necessary condition. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of another content creator and debater called Jovan Bradley, but him and another person named Katie on his show came up with the definition specifically for man-woman, where an adult human whose gender identity aligns with their personal schema on the male or female sex for man or woman. This is a very interesting definition to define these by, because it is centering the gender identity and how the person who has said gender identity links it to these schemas they form. I briefly talked about schemas earlier, but I think it's really interesting that they would ignore these new nuanced things that we have because they are so new. But like I said, we've known since the 70s that gender identity is innate, and they want to hold everything to biological sex while ignoring correlation and causation problems here. There is a correlation that men, on average, are stronger than women. It is not because of their sex that determines this, but the sex can influence it by the secondary traits of sexes, like hormones, which are completely controllable, especially with today's modern medicine. We have the military right now pushing testosterone tests for male soldiers and saying males with low testosterone are going to get testosterone injections or supplements or whatever the fuck that they're actually going to prescribe. I'm not 100% sure what their goal is here because it could just be gel too. But this ruling really misses on so much. Like, there's so many nuanced things that it just kind of glosses over. And I think it's really just this conservative line of thinking of traditional gender roles and understanding of gender identity and expression. We already know that that's a problem because then we have people doing these transvestigations. The dissenting opinion, I think it hits some good parts. I think the biggest thing is the majority, cisgender girls, do get benefits from this ruling. So, sure, that's cool. If you're only for benefiting cisgender girls and don't give a fuck about trans people, I could see why you might agree with this ruling. But in the dissenting, it says, because the majority, however, inflicts a hardship on those it disfavors without giving them their fair and full opportunity the Constitution requires to litigate their contentions, I respectfully dissent. And that was written by Justice Sonia Sotomayor. I think it's really interesting because it touches on some important bits.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It's hurting people. And based on the ruling for Title IX and what the Constitution does say and what the Supreme Court is supposed to be ruling on, supporting it the way that they supported it and the way it was written that they supported it, actually discriminatory, which is rather disheartening because the people who are saying that it's okay to be discriminatory say it's based on a law that says you can't be discriminatory. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand how they got there with that.
Neither do I. It's really baffling.
Did you want to touch on the Indonesia thing?
Yeah. False health claims fuel LGBTQ hate in Indonesia. Rising anti-LGBTQ sentiment in socially conservative Indonesia has triggered conspiratorial claims online that a secretive global elite is using food and vaccination to alter people's sexual orientation. The false posts reference a so-called depopulation agenda that has been repeatedly debunked since the hoax gained traction during the COVID-19 pandemic. Multiple experts told AFP the circulating claims are not backed by any science, adding the narrative undermines public health and promotes fear. They say that since the LGBTQ people are not able to produce children, they contribute to a global depopulation agenda perpetrated by a supposed global elite. They change sexual orientation through food, drugs, and vaccines, one of the hosts says. Comments to the circulating posts indicate many people believe the claim. I once heard that those fitness supplements contain substances that can change a person's sexual orientation, one wrote. Another said, global elite depopulation methods, war/genocide, conflict, pandemic, drugs, vaccines, medical equipment, LGBT, child-free, contraceptives, free sex/condom, natural disaster. And what really blows my mind is they really think it's a global elite. Global depopulation agenda, global elite agenda. What do they think the definition of elite is?
I don't know, but it's the JQ all over again that started in Nazi Germany.
And it's BS. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, there's a global elite making sure people don't reproduce, despite lavender weddings being a thing, surrogacy being a thing.
And that's another thing that I don't understand why what they mean by LGBTQ community can't reproduce. Yeah, I mean, typical societal-ish way, patriarchy societal way. Yeah, I get it. But lesbian couples, they look for either a donor or someone they can trust. There's people of all genders that have the unholy trinity of reproductive diseases, anything that literally causes people to be infertile. Again, every aspect of life is not binary.
Yeah. Indonesia, get your shit together.
Seriously.
Just because there's barriers to reproducing for LGBTQ people doesn't mean they can't reproduce. But also, is the goal of every individual to reproduce? I think there are some good reasons why people could reproduce, but I don't think that means every person should be required to or have to live in a society where it's looked down upon to not. There are people who don't want kids. That's okay. Please let these people live their lives in comfort without punishing them for their desires to live a life that isn't what you want it to be.
Like my first client that I had as a caregiver, every conversation that her and her husband ever said to me involving being child-free, they have never, ever regretted their choice.
Yeah, and that's really good, though.
There's a lot of people in every generation and every gender that chooses to be child-free, especially now. There are also a lot of men that are choosing to be child-free, but the women that are choosing to be child-free are really being the ones scrutinized. Stop blaming women. Start taking accountability for your actions and behavior and words.
Most definitely. The world's a fucked up place. But I think real quick, just to break all this nonsense with just one quick positive story, one of the other things that we did see is that there was some good news out in the world. Budapest Pride is back! They have had a long history with their former Prime Minister, Viktor Orban, and after his ousting in April, LGBTQ March came back. And my goodness, there was a lot of people there. I saw the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
They look so happy and relieved to have a moment to share with each other.
I want to add something on that because I did also read a different article about that. A lot of even conservatives over in Hungary voted for this new prime minister.
Yeah, I mean, Viktor Orban did a lot of freaking bad things to a lot of people. And I'm glad that they were able to vote him out, though. I think there's a lot of problems around the world where they can't do that. But I was really happy to see that they had their pride back. I'd always thought the idea of Budapest was cool. I think I've just been wanting to travel around the world a lot, and Budapest sounded like a cool place to go.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it helps that the song kind of talks about Budapest, so I was like, oh, Budapest. My house in Budapest, my
Oh,
hidden treasure
yeah.
chest. Yeah, I mean that's a great song. But I always kind of wanted to know what Budapest was like. So if we got any people from Hungary, Budapest, Hungary, let us know. Come let us know in the comments. And welcome to our podcast.
Love from the Pacific Northwest.
Yes, we are, of course, up in the Pacific Northwest in America, and it's been so good here. The problem right now, though, that there's a lot of fires, and I think a lot of people need a lot of support locally right now, if you can, if you're in the areas. There's people who are being evacuated, and they don't know if what they're gonna return to, and we can only hope that the fire teams that are out there fighting these fires could help as many people as they can.
And everyone everywhere that is being affected by fires, not even in your area, but surrounding your area, with the heat that is coming, like that is already here. Check your tires daily if you whether or not you commute an hour or less or further. Make sure that your tires are decent, you are hydrated. Please take care of yourselves and everything around you and everyone around you. We need to stick together now more than ever.
Yes, please, if you need help, please reach out. Right now, I think we're going to take a quick little break, stretch your legs for a moment, go to the bathroom, get something to eat, drink, whatever snacks, get your own snacks, and we will be back shortly. It should only be about 30 seconds for you.
Welcome to the intermission for the Rainbow Nocturnal podcast. To the Pajama Party. Please consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing, and checking out the socials. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the show.
Welcome back from the short break. We're gonna kind of hang out a little bit, I think. I think we had a productive first part of the show, and I think the second part can be a little bit more chill, a little bit more vibey, a little bit more hangy outy. I think it's important to keep the momentum going for a lot of these political sides of things. I think it's important to know some of these things about gender identity and understand some of the things going on in the news. Yeah, I think our news segment was a little sloppy, but I really think it's important. So I'm glad that people did.
Chunk.
We had a kitty meowing, but he sounds like he's wanting something. We're out of cat treats. We're gonna go get some tomorrow after I get a little bit of money.
Chunky.
But one thing that we absolutely love is our cats.
Very much.
So, if you want to get involved in the show to help give them some treats, I think Binks had a cute, badass video, and Chunk made an appearance in the first video, but he was kind of quiet about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There was probably one short I could have made with him, but it visually wasn't that good, so I didn't really share it. But maybe we could always come back and make some old shorts or something like that. Moving up here to the Pacific Northwest, is we went to a bunch of concerts while we were up here.
Yeah.
I fucking love music, and I'm very eclectic when it comes to a lot of things, but music is one of them.
Oh, definitely.
I fucking like too many different things.
Same. I don't know about you, but I do have music that's even back from my childhood. From the We Sing videos. Sillyville, definitely. Sesame Street, definitely. C is for cookie. Or rubber ducky. I can also laugh like Ernie. He has kind of an easy laugh to imitate, so.
Right. Yeah, no, I think, a lot of those old stuff, from when we were young, and then some of the new stuff we've been getting into today, like, my goodness, Spirit Box puts on a great show.
Yeah, they do.
I'm jealous that we didn't get to go see them recently. But I would love to see Spirit Box more, but I would love to see some of these queer bands. There's that one trans panic punk band up in Portland.
Really?
Local to Portland. They're on some tour right now down in LA or something.
Mm-hmm.
With another trans artist that I recently stumbled onto, Trick the Riddle. Trick the Riddle and Transpanic are like both on tour together right now down in like LA area. And I'm like, I want to see both of those bands.
Fair.
But they're on tour together, way the fuck down there. I'm like, God, come up here. I mean, I know Transpanic lives up in Portland, so we're bound to see them at some point.
Mm-hmm.
They've been on my radar a little bit though, but I'm like, okay, I need some more queer music. I made that one thread at the very beginning part of the month, the last day of May, asking people, hey, share some bands, and we got some cool bands that people did share.
Mm-hmm.
One of the people actually that reached out on that and then now recently followed our podcast, Lavender Fire.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness, they make some very pretty music. If you like piano and singer-songwriter type things, I should have done some more research on Lavender Fire, but I think it's just the one person, the one woman. And I don't know, she's got a good voice and the piano skills are really good and the songwriting was really solid. And I don't know, you should go check out Lavender Fire music. Heck, if you follow us on Threads, you could see that they're following us and that they've posted on one of our pinned posts. But really, we should share their music some more too, because,
yeah,
gosh, I need to do some more research to know if it's just the one person or like a small group or something. Now that I'm talking about it, I realize I don't really know. Hi, Binks.
Hi, Bob.
It's a kitty cat. Look, there's a tail in the camera.
Yay!
Well, just for like a brief second. He's sniffing the microphone. Oh, now he's rubbing against the microphone.
Please be careful, Bob. I know.
He's walking away
New
now.
stuff in your area.
He's so cute.
Sorry,
My
I keep
goodness.
pulling my pants up. Hot flashes.
It's a little warm in here. We do turn off the fans and AC while we're recording, so it does get warm. And we do understand that. And it's summer, and we wait till evening, but that doesn't mean it's immediately cool inside the apartment when we start recording.
Especially with not having central AC.
We do kind of miss central AC a little bit.
We got spoiled.
Well, it was necessary.
Yeah.
I feel like if we didn't have AC, we could survive here, but it would be uncomfortable at times.
Absolutely. I'm already sweating.
Yeah, you are. My goodness.
I'm glistening.
Glistening. Galinda? Are you glistening like Galinda?
Yes. That was a beautiful movie.
That was a great movie. Both Wickeds were. The new ones.
Mm-hmm.
I really like
amazing cast. Ariana, you are amazing. Cynthia, damn. You both did really well.
Yeah. I don't know, we haven't been to a concert in a while though, and I haven't been to a live musical in a while. We should try and find some local ones.
I've never been to a live musical.
Oh, I've been to some on the Strip.
I'm actually sad that my mother was into going to see plays, even musicals, and she only ever went with her high school best friend, even when that best friend was, like, visiting down in Southern Nevada. And she never thought to take me. My parents could have really dove into my likes. Music, musicals.
I'm glad that you have got to see some musicals though since then, at least on film.
Oh, yes. Rent.
Oh my gosh.
Chicago.
Wait.
Rent.
That's I love that meme. Hey, if you're a part of this community in a night owl, I have a feeling you know how many minutes are in a year.
525,600 minutes.
There you go.
I fucked that up.
That's okay. I always fuck it up when I try to do it on the spot like that too. That's why I wasn't going to. I was gonna let them figure it out. Cause it's 5,000.
And I usually have a better singing voice.
525,600 minutes. Yeah.
Yep.
Freaking Rent. I really enjoyed that one a lot. I think it's a classic. Chicago is one of my favorites though of all time.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show I think is good. I think it's got its cult things and I think it's done a lot of good things for a lot of people. Sometimes I do feel a little awkward with some of the dated language. It doesn't really vibe too much with me in sometimes. But other than that,
Fair.
though, I think it did what it was set out to do, and then I think the community has made it better than what it was.
Yeah. Since the dawn of the film and the Broadway, like the first Broadway musical, look at how many people across generations love and have found a community.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely obsessed.
No, me too. Gosh, and there's so much good music out there too, pushing ideas and stuff. Like, cause like even some of like this metal and shit, like Fit for an Autopsy's been an amazing band, and
Yeah, they have.
they have a lot of, charged music. Black Mammoth is about, environmental concerns and protecting lands that specifically affect, indigenous people, like oil and things like that. That's all what Black Mammoth is about. Some other ones that, push some good, strong ideas, push against some of these more traditional conservative values that hurt the world in a lot of ways. But then they also put out Red Horizon, and that was a pro-Palestine, anti-Zionist song. Really, I mean, they, even the chorus, talks about like Beast of Zion, like goes through all that stuff in the song and gets all the way down their breakdown. God closing his eyes because the body's burning so bright. And I'm like, that's fucking brutal.
Right.
To even push that, and then they end the song with "From the River to the Sea." Okay, so clearly some pro-Palestinian music, and then recently with more deathcore stuff, freaking Bring Me the Horizon. They re-recorded their first album, which kind of came out of nowhere, and then but they also put out that new song "Dehumanized," which is talking against anything that leads people to be murdered and killed, and it really is anti-genocidal in that rhetoric. And then Ollie was talking about the reason, like that one of the motivating factors that led him to writing that song is they were essentially told that they can't fly a Palestine flag live on stage or something like that because it would hurt their bottom line dollar. That's fucking bullshit. And then when they made that song, I was like, wow, he's fucking pissed.
I don't blame him.
Right.
We all are.
Free,
Nobody's free until everybody's free.
free Palestine.
Absolutely. Free Palestine. Free Ukraine.
Free the Congo, free Sudan. There's a lot of fucking conflicts going on in the world right now, and I'm kind of fed up with a lot of it because there really doesn't have to be. I just don't understand why people want to kill each other. It's just sickening. Like, and I feel like for so much of it, like the people who are doing the fighting aren't the ones who are telling the people to fight. And I feel like, so much propaganda is fed to those people in a way that it makes it easy for them to fight. If you have your organization to the point where they just see another side as another target, another problem to get rid of, another issue, a disease to cleanse, any of this dehumanizing rhetoric, these things that remove the humanity from a person, from a group of people, you're missing the point. You're missing the point of everything. You're fighting for the wrong reasons, in my opinion, because if we are truly all created equal, under whatever light you think there is above, the sun, a god, whatever, if we are all here equal, then stripping someone's humanity away because you don't like some of the actions that were happening, there are other ways to deal with people that don't involve killing them. We've seen it happen. And killing people doesn't solve anything. It just creates more problems for you in the future. It always has.
Mm-hmm.
So music has kind of brought me to a lot of that places too. Gosh, there's just so many problems, and I feel like a lot of music out there is very cathartic for helping deal with a lot of it.
Yeah. There's a new artist that I found on social media through my Facebook Reels, Lydia the Bard. Feed Us Your Girls. One of my newest favorite songs that brings out the feral in me when I'm on my walks. It talks about victims of perpetrators, monsters, that'll eat you if you breathe. It doesn't matter what we wear. They will eat you if you breathe.
Yeah. I think politically motivated music is really good. but I don't think all music has to be that way. Heck, I've been way into Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah, you have.
You know I've been way into Coheed and Cambria. In March, I was 0.02% of the top listeners on YouTube Music. Don't know how I got that high. Maybe because there was a lot of problems in life at that month. And Coheed and Cambria kind of carried me through. They have a lot of good, positive music and some self-reflective music too. But I've been really motivated to being more positive in a lot of things. And I feel like Coheed's helped with that a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who can is a huge one. Being there for other people, yourself, your significant other, whoever the song was written for. It can be written for anybody. It could be written for you. I want to be someone who can be here for the community. I want to be someone who can be here for Rainbow Nocturnal. That involves having an open place for you to come be with us.
Absolutely.
It does feel a little weird because I don't know how much monetization I really want this channel to have, but I feel like it needs a little bit. So that's kind of why I started that $3 Patreon thing. I need to find more things to even add to it. It just felt like adding that unreleased episode was a great thing to put there. But then I also started doing some free stuff that you don't need to pay anything to see. I made a little rant about a short I saw on YouTube from a comedian, Ashley Gavin, and I put that rant up there on the Patreon, and it's free. You don't need to pay anything to see it. You just gotta sign up on the Patreon. That's it. And in fact, I don't even think you need to join our Patreon to actually see it. I think you can see it for free regardless if you've joined or not. Though I don't know about that. I'm a Patreon freaking noob. So that's on there, but you know, if you want other things, I want to start putting little personal things together too. I think it would be cool to have personalized messages to individuals who want a personalized call out. And it could either be private or public. It's up to you. I don't know yet. It's something I was pondering because I think it'd be fun to communicate with people directly who want to be communicated with.
Yeah. Give advice where advice is needed.
If I have advice to give, I mean, we might ask for your advice. I've been trying to see if I can get people to give us some advice on some of this production stuff. Does this video look good? How's the audio sound? Let us know. I'm really interested to hear from you people about whatever it is you want us to know. You can let us know stories you have. You can let us know things you like about what we said. You can let us know things that you don't like about what we said. I want the feedback, and I want to be able to have assisted self-reflection. Because I could self-reflect on my own thing, but sometimes I do better when there's other people's perspectives.
Yeah, same. I used to take some of them. I still do take some to heart, but I will still learn from myself, from what I've done previously. I'm like, all right, so do this better this time, etc.
Gosh, I really hope I've said less. I haven't been counting, but the first video I said that's probably too many. I'm probably going to cut some of those out. But I really want to pay attention to how I'm saying what I'm saying when I'm saying it. And I think that's going to come with practice. I think some of that's going to be just practice.
Right. I've also been still doing the one sound I did earlier when I was doing a gulp. I was like, that's silent. Maybe I could do that instead. A work in progress.
It is a work in progress because we went trial by fire. We didn't say trial and error. Trial by fire.
Yeah.
We want to feel the heat and burn from pushback from whoever wants to push back. Preferably the community. Preferably are doing it for constructive reasons. That would be preferential. But I am really open to criticism. I like to understand what people are thinking. Now, I might push back. Maybe I don't like you. And if it's too toxic, I know how to block you. But let's save that for when it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be prepared, but I also like to let things flow naturally. I think there's a lot of fun stuff out there. I would like to know, when we were talking about music, I'd like to know what music you guys like. Show us some more LGBTQ music and bands and artists. If you want to point us to your favorite, maybe artists on places like Reddit or heck, even DeviantArt or something like that. I kind of just want to be interacting with the community, but I need to feel welcomed myself a little bit. So I don't like forcing myself into people's spaces unless it feels like that they were open to that. So if you want to help direct us towards some places to look and find some people to interact with, to build community with, if you want to collaborate, maybe you are a part of a community and you want to collaborate in some way, I would love to hear from you too.
Absolutely.
You can reach out to us on, Threads. We have a Facebook. We have an Instagram that's something that I suck at using. Trying to figure out some other options. And then we also have the Patreon that we're going to start doing some hangouts and stuff. So if you want to just pick a spot that you feel comfortable in and reach out to us. And if we're not in a place that you feel comfortable reaching out in, try and get a message to us somehow. Because maybe we can move. Maybe we could add. I want to be where the people want us to be as much as I want to be where I want to be. So I really think I need to hear from people. I need the feedback. I need to know where you want us to be seen. And I'm willing to work with whoever wants to work with us.
Absolutely. Same.
Yeah. I really want to find people.
Absolutely the same.
Yeah, we need more people.
We really do.
More friends. More family. Come be a family member. Come be a friend. Come be a supporter. Come be a hooter. Come be whatever it is you want to be within this space. You know what? I'll accept the lurkers too. The people who come by, click, watch for a little bit, move on. I appreciate you too. You've tried. Not everyone does try. Sometimes they'll just see, oh, that looks like gay shit and move on. Or, damn, that was really boring. Okay, let me know it's boring. Tell me. Tell me what the flaw was. Tell me what you wish was just freaking better. Because I just want to see where I can improve. And that outside perspective, I'm telling you, it always helps me frame myself when I can consider other perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy about a lot of that.
Me too.
Still been playing Palia a little bit. Kitty's been playing a lot more than I have.
Oops.
No oops about it. I just have been spending time doing a lot of other things. But they've recently put out some new Pride stuff. The Pride Dyes and
Tints. Yeah.
Tints. That's what they're called. I knew there was something. Dyes is the other game.
Yeah, they don't have the pan.
Yeah.
They just have the bi, trans, ace, gay, lesbian.
You can't ask for everything, especially from games like that. I don't know. Obviously, they must have some form of representation in the company, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate when they add stuff like that to games. It just makes it feel like I can be seen.
Especially in this game. The community, this game was built to help the villagers in the game. You're also helping each other when you're out and about in any of the maps. We're just having fun.
I think there's a lot of great games out there. We've played a lot of different games over time, and yeah, Palia is kind of what we're playing the most right now, but I'm sure there'll be other games, and I'm sure if you ask, we can go back to some old games. I'm not going to tell you what they are. You tell me what you like. What games have you been playing? What games do you think are the most welcoming to the LGBTQ community? I think there's just a lot of fun games out there for different reasons, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not every game needs to be accepting. Some games are just good standalone games that don't really have a community to interact with. I don't know, I'm just curious what people have been playing. Curious what music you've been listening to. Things you've been going through.
Yeah. I've been wanting to get a job, but not wanting to get a job. I'm not really meant for 9-to-5s.
Yeah. It's been really hard on me.
I know, and I'm sorry. But hopefully we can get merch out, get my beads back out, and start working on bracelets, make different types of bracelets. I have lettered beads. Different styles, too, of the lettered beads.
Yeah. I want to do RBNPJP.
Yeah, with some of the yarn that we have, we can make different styles of bracelets with those lettered beads in the middle.
Yeah.
Some can be the one that I use for my, like, is an anklet that we got from Hot Topic. Hot Topic and Torrid bracelets always come, like, bracelets or chokers come in.
It was Spencer's.
Spencer's?
It was Spencer's.
Okay, might be Spencer's. Yeah, for some reason, a lot of places don't have smaller wrists for people.
Yeah.
Or petite size pants I really need. I hate having to wear jeans that go, like, pants that go past my feet and have to wear platform shoes or heels.
I think a lot of those types of problems is because of money too, though. I think because the people making the clothes are trying to make a buck just as much, so they're trying to maximize profit sometimes. So they just go with like the bulk of what could be used in those situations. There could definitely be improvement in some of these things, but I think it's a problem with capitalism. I just generally think we need to try and find some way out of a capitalist dominated system. I'm very pragmatic. I think better capitalism is better than whatever current iteration is. Ideally, I would like something out of capitalism.
Yeah.
Like into like a socialism or towards a communism. I'm not really sure because I feel like most socialism's trying to lead to communism, but I still feel like the intermediary step is necessary for a lot of things. I don't know, that's just how I feel.
Right.
I kind of fall into the line of anarcho-syndicalism. That's kind of the vibes I vibe the most with. It just seems also like the best route out of capitalism is a route heading towards anarcho-syndicalism, but it's not necessarily the only one. So I'm always open to opinions of other people. I just really want better than what we have, and I think we can get it. Heck, if we have to stick with capitalism, I think the Nordic model has some good benefits we should genuinely consider. I just think that where we're at right now isn't good for everybody, for the most amount of people. And I just think it could be better.
Right, especially considering with where the wealth is being hoarded right now.
Yeah.
Broligarchs.
Wealth hoarding is a problem, but like it's a problem even for capitalism. When you have that much hoarded, non-liquid resources flowing through the system, it actually makes things worse for the people because the thing about capitalism is it's an economic strategy that is supposed to help fuel a society. And I think there are obvious benefits to capitalism from whatever we were before. But the flaws still exist, and I think if we're not actively working to mitigate those flaws in some way, then we're just prioritizing exploiting people.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that there's always wanting to try and push higher profit margins, but it really doesn't need to come at the expense of people.
It really doesn't.
I don't understand how we have so many like anti-human people in this world, really, especially in today's society, in today's capitalist society, the way it is today. This apartment we live in, people built it. These devices we're communicating to you through, people built it. Yeah, some of these might be because of capitalism, but they don't have to be. A socialist could build all this shit the same for very specific reasons, for very specific needs, for wants and desires. You can still have personal property in a socialist thing. Yes, you don't own the means of production. I don't want to own this space, but I want to be able to use this space to help maintain and build a community.
Mm-hmm.
And those are why my values intersect with a lot of socialist ideas, is because I place people first. And I really think that's what socialism tries to do too. Yeah, there have been problems in the past with countries running things to the ground. I think really the core of it is making sure that the people are prioritized in whatever it is that is being built. I don't think we should be exploiting people.
Absolutely not.
For the gain of a few. It just feels wrong. And I don't know how morally people could be opposed to a system that wants to prioritize people. I just don't understand how that could be like the moral thing. It's like the biggest thing I always hear is like, oh, well, that socialist country killed people. Okay, but were they really adhering to these morals that I'm talking about? Because if they're not, then I wouldn't agree with their methodology and implementation anyway.
Right.
I wish people would, engage with what I'm saying and not try and be like trying to find something that's easy for them to defend against because they're like, oh, you say you're about people, then how come this country killed people? I don't care that that was the issue because the issue wasn't the system, it was the people in charge of the system. But this is what I'm saying. If we are moving towards the same moral frameworks, it really isn't a problem. I don't know. I could rant about this kind of thing all night, but like, there's got to be a better way. We either, whether we're making capitalism better or moving away from capitalism, something's got to be better than what we have now.
Exactly. Including patriarchy. Something's got to be better than patriarchy. We've had how many centuries where patriarchy was in control?
Most of written history.
Exactly. I think it's high time to not bring on a matriarchy, but equal grounds.
Egalitarian.
Yeah.
Feminism advocates egalitarianism. If you don't believe me, go check out the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, the feminist section. It's a big, long read. It gives you all the history, all the current ideas, the old ideas, the contentions, and places where they're trying to make it intersectional to work together. There's a lot of really interesting information out there. But the ultimate thing about feminism is it advocates egalitarianism. Feminism advocates egalitarianism. Don't forget.
Absolutely.
Yes. I know. I love talking about feminism online, but I got to the point where I just got tired of trying to correct people. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, just go read the Stanford Encyclopedia on Feminism or on philosophy, specifically about feminism. It's a good read. Mm-hmm. It's a long read, and there's a lot of subsections that you can go through and get even more things.
The real feminism is not anti-men, it's pro-equality across the board. No matter like what aspect of life, in jobs, at home, anywhere.
Are men a problem? Yeah, but I don't think that they are the problem. I think the patriarchal systems that these men have been raised in are the problem. Because they are trying to uphold this idea of function within the society that tells them that they have to be a certain way, that they're expected to be a certain way, that they're expected to be the provider, the muscle, the builders,
the protectors.
But they're also expected to be emotionless and strong. You can't be emotionless. Even apathy is still an emotion. Like, you are still having a reaction, even if it's muted. And I really think it's important to address a lot of those things. And it's hard. I still struggle with some of these things because of the society that we grew up in. Like, it doesn't matter how much I read, I still have to check myself. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
You don't just get better overnight just because you decide, I'm changing my life. Okay, you wake up the next day and you start taking one step at a time. You don't just get to be at the finish line because you made the decision.
Exactly.
Journey before destination.
Journey before destination. And that's even what healing is. Therapy.
Therapy has been really helpful. It's been part of the reason why I've gotten to a point where I can't accept myself. It's been a big help in helping me deal with some of these concerns and issues and deconstructing a lot of these problems in my own life because I'm allowed to take up space. That's something I had to accept recently and something that I had to learn in therapy. I'm allowed to tell people how I feel and express myself. I don't need to fawn away all of my problems to make other people happy. I can just be myself. And that took a lot of work.
Yeah. I haven't really been in therapy, but for some reason, other things have been therapy. Listening to music that bring out the feral in me. Meeting people that have the same personalities as me. And I'm here for it.
I know, and you're amazing.
So are you.
And I love you.
And I love you.
And you are awesome, and I'm sorry that it took so long for us to start doing better. But we made it.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. And before it gets too much later, I think we should really consider wrapping up here tonight. I think we've recorded so far longer than the other episode, but there's still some good stuff that we're going to edit through here.
Mm-hmm.
I truly appreciate all of you who have come and watched and hung out and interacted.
Same.
You have made this worth it. I mean, like I said, slightly above average for our first episode. That's hopeful because it gives me motivation to keep going.
Absolutely same.
I don't know how long things will take to take off or what taking off even looks like for a podcast like this. I don't know where we're going to be in a year, 5 years, but our goal is to still be here, even if it's just goofing off and joking off and telling the same story again because there's nothing new because we stagnate. That's okay to me because I still want this to be a welcoming space, regardless of where we're at.
Absolutely. You are valid. You are safe here. You are family no matter what.
You are loved, you are welcome, and you are valid, like she said. Everyone, this has been another episode of the Rainbow Nocturnal PJ Party. I hope you were cozy and I hope you had a good time.
I do too.
Please like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun things, and enjoy the outro music if you want, or have a good rest of your evening.
Absolutely. Have a good evening. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night and your week.
Bye!